lesson, which we read together on the Knowing Show. I am your host, Christene Marie, and today's Course in Miracles is a little bit different. Actually, the next couple of days will be. So, we will do a quick review of the preceding lessons leading up to today, and then we will dive into today's lesson. Lesson 35. My mind is part of God's. I am very holy. Lesson 36. My holiness envelops everything I see. Lesson 37. My holiness blesses the world. Lesson 38. There is nothing my holiness cannot do. Lesson 39. My holiness is my salvation. Lesson 40. I am blessed as a son of God. Lesson 41. God goes with me wherever I go. Lesson 42. God is my strength. Vision is his gift. Lesson 43. God is my source. I cannot see apart from him. Lesson 44. God is the light in which I see. Lesson 45. God is the mind with which I think. Lesson 46. God is the love in which I forgive. Lesson 47. God is the strength in which I trust. Lesson 48. There is nothing to fear. Lesson 49. God's voice speaks to me all through the day. Lesson 50. I am sustained by the love of God. Now, lesson 51. For review, the review for today covers the following ideas. Lesson 1. Nothing I see means anything. The reason this is so is that I see nothing, and nothing has no meaning. It is necessary I recognize this, that I may learn to see. What I think I see now is taking the place of vision. I must let it go by realizing it has no meaning, so that vision may take its place. Lesson 2. I have given what I see all of the meaning it has for me. I have judged everything I look upon, and it is this and only this I see. This is not vision. It is merely an illusion of reality because my judgments have been made quite apart from reality. I am willing to recognize the lack of validity in my judgments because I want to see. My judgments have hurt me, and I want to see according to them, and I do not want to see according to them. Lesson 3. I do not understand anything I see. How could I understand what I see when I have judged it amiss? What I see is the projection of my own errors of thoughts. I do not understand what I see because it is not understandable. There is no sense in trying to understand it, but there is every reason to let it go and make room for what can be seen and understood and loved. I can exchange what I see now for this merely by being willing to do so. Is not this a better choice than the one I made before? Lesson 4. These thoughts do not mean anything. The thoughts of which I am aware do not mean anything because I am trying to think without God. What I call my thoughts are not real thoughts. My real thoughts are the thoughts I think with God. I am not aware of them because I have made my thoughts in their place. I am willing to recognize that my thoughts do not mean anything and to let them go. I choose to have them be replaced by what they were intended to replace. My thoughts are meaningless, but all creation lies in the thoughts I think with God. Lesson 5. I am never upset for the reason I think. I am never upset for the reason I think because I am constantly trying to justify my thoughts. I'm constantly trying to make them true. I make all things my enemies so that my anger is justified and my attacks are warranted. I have not realized how much I have misused everything I see by assigning this role to it. I have done this to defend a thought system that has hurt me and that I no longer want. I am willing to let it go. Wow. Y'all, so we're starting over the next couple of days. I believe it's actually a total of 10 days. Today's starting with the lesson 1 through 5 to review, but we've got 50 lessons to review, 5 lessons a day. Tomorrow will be lesson 6 through 10, etc. And so I'm so grateful for this return to lessons 1 through 5, because especially having gone through the last 50 lessons, building upon lessons 1 through 5, where when we first read them, we were reading them without context. We didn't know what was coming after. And so this review gives us such a good opportunity to return and really sit with, here's what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be selecting one that really resonates with me, and then I'm going to be selecting that one and putting it in uh my alarms throughout the day so that it will go off on a routine basis, just like how most of the lessons do. But man, these first five are so powerful. Y'all, we see projected from the past onto the present. We're not seeing what is real. And that was probably one of the biggest wake up calls that I had after, I think waking up after my divorce was like the most profound experience of my life. And it was over the course of time. It wasn't just one big jolt, one big moment, but it was consistently realizing I'm not seeing so much of the big picture. And for me at that time, it was because I had shut off access to myself, and I was so disassociated with what is my experience. And our experience is just as important as the other person's experience. But either way, whether we're looking at the world through their eyes or through our eyes, we're still looking at it just through human eyes, rather than almost like transcending and taking the view from heaven and saying, God, how do you see people? How do you see me? How do you see the world? How do you see this situation and this circumstance? For so long as we are not taking the eyes of God, we are not having the thoughts and mind of God. And thus we are forever limited to even just this physical dimension and this physical reality. The power of allowing for our thoughts to align with the thoughts of God is that God is not bound by time. He's not bound by pain. And so now suddenly we can view a situation, we can view the world through love rather than through fear, which is so often how we are thinking. And I love how she summarizes. Honestly, the summaries are so powerful. I kind of like them better than the lessons themselves. Lesson 5. I am never upset for the reason I think, because I am constantly trying to justify my thoughts. I am constantly trying to make them true. I make all things my enemies so that my anger is justified and my attacks are warranted. I have not realized how much I have misused everything I see by assigning this role. I have done this to defend a thought system that has hurt me and that I no longer want. So we're actually attacking other people to defend our beliefs, and the beliefs themselves hurt us. Why would we want to continue to believe that we're not worthy? Why would we want to continue to believe that we're not lovable? And y'all, I had this very clear moment, like crossroads moment. Will I believe for the rest of my life that I'm not wanted and not lovable? You know, my husband looks me in the eyes 4 years ago and says, I don't love you, I don't love God, I don't love your family, and leaves. So I can take that and use that now as the lens through which I view the world. And or I could look at myself and my family through God's eyes and say, okay, God, like you are a higher authority than my former husband, no matter how much pain I'm in. Am I going to allow you to be the voice of truth in my life? Who is the source? Whose thought system will we adhere to? The thought systems of our broken heart, the thought system of very real, genuine experiences that have really caused us pain, or will we allow for a higher truth to take the place, a superordinate principle to transcend everything that honestly does feel so real here in this moment? But will I allow something else to be even more true? I'm just going to take a moment to jump here in the chat. Good morning. Thank you guys so much for joining. Just playing catch up on the chat here. Pretty Lane Gamer. Good morning, Nelson, Johnny, Durrell, Joshua. Good morning. Thanks for joining. Good morning, Brian. RSXY, Stuart Hill, Holden, Sammy. Good morning. I'm so glad you're here. Y'all, we have, for those of you who are new, we read through A Course in Miracles every morning. We just read through a lesson. The goal is to effectively get our hearts and minds kind of directed towards the truth. We were just talking that a thought system is going to take is going to take the cake. We're going to adhere to a thought system. So the question is, which one is that going to be? Whose thought system is going to run the day? And is it going to be yours, predicated on the past? Is it going to be your parents, maybe that you inherited? Because we have a thought system, we have a belief system that we adhere to, whether we realize it or not. And so the question is, do we choose it? Are we choosing with intention how we show up? Are we choosing with intention the thoughts and beliefs that guide us? There's this quote, between stimulus and response is choice. In between there, every single moment of our lives, we get to choose how we're going to respond. We cannot choose the stimulus, but we can choose our response. But every choice is based in a belief. So rather than just how do I choose to show up, it's okay, well, what do I really believe about God, about the world, about myself? And so this morning's show is our time to dig into what are the beliefs that run our lives, that then inform the choices we make, that inform the responses we make. And every single stimulus, it's so easy to blame the stimulus, but man, do we have so much power. We have so much power. And in our own belief, in our realization, we also get freedom. Freedom lies in the power of choice. No one can control us. And isn't that wild? I told Sammy yesterday morning, I saw this video about this man who was born without an arm and without two legs, and he has one finger. And I'm watching him. He's got this YouTube channel. It is so powerful. And it's not just a YouTube channel. He speaks around the world. He's 23 years old, but he has chosen to look at his body and say, you are not going to limit me. I'm not going to listen to the voices of people saying I'm worthless, I'm ugly. I'm going to choose a better way. I'm going to choose a different way, a different path of thinking about myself, of thinking about the world. I'm going to choose to live in service and in love. And y'all, when we step back, this is part of looking at the world through God's eyes, is that suddenly everybody is included in this picture of reality. It's no longer just about us. It's actually a very dismal place to exist when we're constantly only worried about ourselves. But when we step back and zoom back and we see, man, look at those people to love. And man, look at that woman struggling with her groceries. And man, look at that barista. She looks kind of sad. Suddenly, the world becomes, honestly, it becomes that much bigger, but it also becomes so much more intimate. Now, every single person we encounter, we have the opportunity to love on. Every single person we experience, we get a moment to see them through God's eyes. And man, somebody asked me a couple weeks ago, why is joy a value of mine? Well, man, it's almost like, how can it not be when we start seeing the world through God's eyes? I perhaps think that joy is not just a value, but it's actually really the state of being when we allow for God's vision, you know? And yes, we see the brokenness of the world, but man, I also see the beauty of it too. And we do get to choose. Am I going to fixate on the brokenness or fixate on the beauty of every single soul? It really is rather remarkable how beautiful this world is. I was standing outside just looking at the trees the other day and just like marveling at the colors and the vibrancy. And we get to choose. Are we going to look at the clouds and be amazed at this creation, this beautiful creation? Or am I going to put my head down on my phone and look at the chaos of the world? That chaos of the world, I'm actually here in this present moment. And the presence of the moment is the thing that so often restores joy and restores peace to us when we choose to put away our phone and adopt the mindset of Christ and God. Um, just checking back here in the chat. Abdul, thank you so much for joining. Sammy, love you so much, Sammy. God bless you. God bless your voice. I'm so grateful for your voice. Um, Please give a shout out about my neck being so badly broken, as I am really struggling with my neck scans tomorrow. Sammy, I would love to take just a moment to pray with you before we jump off. Y'all, you guys can jump off or you can stay. Sammy is a friend of the Knowing Show. He joined a couple weeks ago and we got to know him for the first time, and he had broken his neck pretty badly, and now he is struggling with not being able to walk and just being paralyzed from the neck down. And so we love Sammy. So Sammy, I'd love to pray for you before we jump off. Claude Garnier, hello from Paris. Swimmer music. You remind me of my teacher. Oh, I hope that's a good thing. Kasim says, which finger is he missing? I think he only has one pointer finger. Everything else is gone, and he is missing his other arm completely. Um, uh, Sabra, I actually like that perspective. Sammy Sosa, I'm not married. He says, I think her husband is rich. I'm not married anymore. My former husband left. Um, mm. Steve says, I've learned that all the spiritual wisdom in $5 will get you a cup of coffee. I love that. Y'all, thank you so much for joining tonight, or this morning. I am going to just go ahead and say a quick prayer for Sammy, y'all. This show is just a really special place for us to connect, and it's like nourishing our minds and nourishing our souls. In the evening, we talk about emotional and intellectual intelligence and how to ensure that we really can be the not just the best version of ourselves, but live in the fullness of this moment and of today. You know, it's so easy to worry about tomorrow. It's so easy to get caught up in the future. But this show, both in the morning, we talk a lot about spiritual intelligence and kind of listening and tuning into what God has to say, having, again, a superordinate principle. And then in the evening shows, we talk about emotional, intellectual intelligence so that we can love well, so that we really can be the fullest in this moment today as possible. And so much of that is actually predicated on, yes, us looking in the mirror and doing the work, but also in community. It's really encouraging having people that we're doing the work with. And so I'm excited for those of you who are new, who would like to join us. We have game nights once a week. We just started doing that trivia, which has been so fun. We get on and get a little bit of truth in the mornings here at 9 a.m. Eastern. And then in the evenings, we usually have a guest, or I just hop on and we talk about, how to grow around many different topics. We talk boundaries, we talk physical intelligence, we talk AI, we talk about a whole bunch. So for those of you who would like to like and subscribe, I'd love to have you back. But for those of you who know the show well, thank you for joining. I'm so grateful. Life is better together. It really, really is. And so Sammy is a friend of the Knowing Show. And Sammy, we're just actually going to take a moment. For those of you who want to jump off, this is a good time to do so. Before you do, the 5 lessons that we reviewed this morning. Nothing I see means anything. Lesson 2, I've given what I see all of the meaning it has for me. Lesson 3, I do not understand anything I see. Lesson 4, these thoughts do not mean anything. And lesson 5, I am never upset for the reason I think. I personally am going to take lesson 5. I'm never upset for the reason I think. And I'm going to put that in my alarm so that that's really kind of what I meditate on today. So tomorrow we'll be doing another review. And for now, though, again, now's a good time to hop off. I'm actually just going to say a prayer for Sammy and for you guys and for myself. If you guys have any prayer requests, I'd love to pray with you. So if you guys want to take a moment and drop here anything in the chat, I will just say a prayer for today. Today's, the 51st day of the year, and it's just such a good opportunity for us to recenter and remind ourselves, why are we here? Why are we doing this? So if you guys have any specific prayer requests, put it here in the chat. I would love, love, love to pray for you. I love this. Ancient of Days. He says, you are not judged by the height you have risen, but from the depth you have climbed. Frederick Douglass. Wow. What a quote. I love that. Y'all, I hope that's encouraging for every single one of us. My gosh, look at how far you've come. There's a great book called The Gap and the Gain, and it's all about that. It's all about the perspective. Are we going to look at how much further we have to go, or are we going to look back and see how far we've come, how far it is? Like my dad told me one time, if you can just believe God is good. And isn't that so true? When we look back at how far we've come, it's like, man, look at this. Your life is a testimony. Your life is a testament to redemption, to love, to faithfulness, to so much goodness. And we get to choose. maybe not forget that today we have the power to choose. With every stimulus, you have a choice. With every stimulus, you have a moment to pause and say, who do I want to be? What is the ideal? What is the thought system I will adhere to in this moment to inform response? Um, all right, y'all. I may need a prayer. Be king. Um, I love this. Frank says, put God in everything. I'm telling you, he will show up. Every decision that you make it with God first. I love that. AP, a prayer for my family and children that they may be healthy and grow up to be strong. I love that. Oh, Ancient of Days, what would you like for us to pray for you? Oh, thank you. Hmm, I'm moving this over the next couple of days, and then I'm going home to help co-host an event with my dad, and I would love a prayer for just extra capacity. I feel like honestly, the last like 2 months, I feel like I've been kind of in a brain fog, and I don't want to just live, um, getting to the next day. I want to make today just a beautiful, beautiful day. Like I don't want to just live and get through the next week, but it does feel like I'm kind of on a marathon. So, um, all right, I am going to say a prayer for our dear Sammy. Um, AP, thank you for putting this in a prayer for my family and children. And and then there was one other one. Be king. Okay. Y'all feel free if you guys want to jump off. I'd love to kind of keep the integrity of what it is that we're doing right now. So if prayer is hard for you, you're welcome to stay. Prayer has to be rooted in relationship. If it's rooted in religion, it's going to destroy us. I've found that to be true. I've watched people really have a hard time when they're praying. Not, it's like almost there's this concept without faith, it is sin, And so there's something around y'all. I really believe that faith and hope is the best of things, but it needs to be rooted in relationship. Sometimes it's a choice. It's like I don't feel it at all, but I choose to have faith. And so maybe you're coming from that place this morning. So just thank you for being here. And I am going to say a quick prayer. God, you are so much bigger than I ever thought you were. You just continuously blow me away, and it's like you blow the lid off the box I put you in. Even though I don't mean to, God, I just thank you. I thank you that you're never limited by my own human cognition and conception and understanding. God, thank you that you want us to know you, that you want us to be in relationship with you. God, I thank you that you seek us and you love us, and gosh, you are just so good. God, I thank you that this morning you are near to the brokenhearted. Father, I thank you for Sammy. Father, I thank you for this man that he doesn't have to go through this alone. Father, I pray, God, I just pray right now that you would just wrap your arms around him as he listens to this. Father, I pray for healing to his heart, healing to his soul, like at a soul level, God, that he would be healed, that he would know you, God, he would know the comfort of his creator. Father, I pray that he would see, God, that you would give him your eyes over his injury, over his life, even over his nurses. God, what beautiful women and men these people are that are serving him and loving on him. And Father, I ask for protection over his heart and soul, Father, over his mind, God, that his thought system would be reformed. God, that every single one of us would have our thought system reformed to see the world the way that you see it. Father, I pray for truth. God, it's so easy in these moments where we just feel so broken for lies to come in. So, Father, I ask for protection over his mind. God, I'm thinking of Be King right now. God, I don't know what he's going through, but you do. God, you see. You are so intimate with us. God, you see us. You see every tear we've ever cried. You see the strength and how hard we work. God, I thank you that we don't have to go through life alone. Father, I pray for community for B. King. God, that he would have the friendship and the camaraderie where he feels literally like he's running a race alongside those who are like-minded, those who are likened in soul in terms of how they're willing to try, how they're willing to be brave, how they're willing to show up against all odds. Father, I just pray for a sense of encouragement for him today. God, I thank you for AP and their family, for their children. God, I thank you that his children or her children are going to grow up. God, I just really have faith to pray for this, that they're going to grow up to be so brave. What a prayer. God, even the fact that they are asking that their children would grow up to be brave and healthy. What an incredible parent. Father, I pray for encouragement today, God, that you would speak to his spirit, her spirit, Father, that they would feel so encouraged at the way that they're parenting. God, I just pray for a moment today, a really specific moment when they would see in their child, all of them ideally, just a particular moment where they're like, that's who you're becoming. Father, I thank you and for that promise. Effectively train up your child in the way that they should go, and when they're old, they won't depart from it. So, Father, I just thank you for the fact that we get to learn from you, the greatest Father, and how we father and mother our children. And God, I pray that our children would walk in the way of the Lord. God, that they would know who they are. They would find identity and strength and take courage and take heart during the world that is changing so much. And it's just kind of a crazy place. But God, I just thank you for this community. I thank you for every person listening. Father, I pray just for so much so much peace, God. It would feel like a sigh of relief. Just a reminder we don't need to do life alone. We don't have to do it all today. And God, I thank you also that at the same time, we also get to remember that we have that much more power than we ever thought because the God of the universe lives inside of us. And we get to experience life through your eyes, with your heart. So teach us, God, teach us how to think, teach us how to live. In Jesus' name, amen. Y'all, thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you for being open, for being willing to pray alongside me and with me. I will see you tonight. For those of you who want to show back up, we're going to go live tonight at 8:30 p.m. For the Knowing Show. So with that, have a wonderful, wonderful day. Talk to you soon. Bye.